150 million years ago, the world breathes differently. This is the Late Jurassic, an age of titans, and its grand stage is the Morrison Formation. A vast, semi-arid floodplain stretching across what will one day become the American West. The air is warm and dry, the landscape a mosaic of fern-filled savannas and scattered groves of conifer and cycad that cling to the winding paths of seasonal rivers. This isn't a lush paradise, it is a crucible, a cauldron of life forged by intense seasons of flood and drought. And in this world, size is the ultimate currency. Here we see the living embodiment of that currency, a herd of Diplodocus. They move with a slow, deliberate grace that belies their almost incomprehensible scale. Each adult is a marvel of biological engineering, stretching up to 90 feet, longer than 2 city buses parked end to end, with a mass exceeding 20 tons. Their necks, impossibly long, sweep across the low-lying vegetation, systematically stripping ferns with peg-like teeth. For them, life is a constant, slow-motion quest for calories, a relentless search for enough fuel to power these colossal bodies. The herd offers a formidable defense, a walking fortress of flesh and bone. But they are not alone. Hidden in the shade of a dense cycad grove, another form of Jurassic life watches and waits. Smaller, but built for a purpose far more violent. This is Allosaurus fragilis, the different lizard. This is the apex predator of the Morrison, the undisputed lion of the Jurassic. But what we are witnessing is something that challenges the classic image of the lone theropod hunter. Here we see not one, but a group, a coordinated, intelligent pack. Their powerful legs are coiled like springs, their 3-fingered claws are weapons of devastating potential. And their skulls, while seemingly light, are designed to deliver a unique slashing bite. They are watching the giants, their gaze fixed, waiting for a single moment of opportunity in this ancient, unforgiving arena. For the Allosaurus, patience is a weapon as critical as tooth and claw. They are watching, but they are also calculating. The drought, a silent, relentless pressure on this entire ecosystem, has sharpened their hunger and their focus. The usual water sources have dwindled to murky pools, and the ferns are brittle and less nutritious. For the Diplodocus herd, this means weakness. The constant search for sustenance has pushed them to their limits. For the predators, this weakness is an invitation. When we analyze the fossil evidence from sites like the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry in Utah, where dozens of Allosaurus skeletons are found together, it points toward a fascinating, terrifying possibility. Complex social behavior. They may have hunted in deadly, coordinated groups, a strategy perfectly suited for tackling prey that would be impossible for a lone hunter to bring down. Their strategy unfolds not with a roar, but with a silent consensus. Their target isn't the colossal bull, a 40-ton titan at the heart of the herd. Attacking him would be suicide. Instead, their gaze settles on a younger individual, a sub-adult grazing at the fringe. While still immense, weighing perhaps 12 tons and measuring over 60 feet long, it lacks the sheer bulk and experience of the herd's veterans. It is a calculated risk. The pack alpha, a scarred veteran, gives a subtle, almost imperceptible shift of its head. The message is clear. The time for waiting is over. But cornering a sauropod is one of the most dangerous games in the natural world. Diplodocus was not a passive victim. Its primary defense, beyond its scale, was its tail. This is not the thick, club-like tail of an ankylosaur. This is a precision instrument of immense power. Over 100 feet long from snout to tip, the final third of the tail, a section we call the whiplash, was thin, flexible, and composed of more than 80 interlocking vertebrae. Biomechanical models show us something staggering. By whipping this tail, a Diplodocus could accelerate the tip to supersonic speeds. The result would be a deafening crack, a miniature sonic boom exceeding 200 decibels, used to intimidate rivals and predators. But if it made contact, that same whip could flay skin from bone with the force of a cannon. It is a warning, a deterrent, and a devastating weapon all in one. The Allosaurs know this. Their approach is a masterclass in predatory teamwork. 3 members of the pack break cover from the right flank, charging not at their target, but at the front of the herd. It's a feint. Their goal is chaos. The ground trembles as the massive herbivores react, their low rumbles turning to bellows of alarm. As the herd's attention is drawn forward, 2 more Allosaurs, the largest and most powerful, explode from the cycads on the left. They don't attack, they run. Their path is precise, a blade of motion designed to sever one animal from the safety of the collective. They slice through the space between the young Diplodocus and its family. The young giant turns, confused, calling out in a deep, panicked tone. But it is too late. The herd, driven by the diversionary attack, thunders away, leaving the lone subadult facing a closing circle of some of the most efficient predators the planet has ever known. The trap has been sprung, the risk has been taken. Now, the true battle for survival is about to begin. A brutal confrontation of biomechanics where a single misstep means death. The air is thick with dust and tension. The young Diplodocus stands its ground, a mountain of flesh and fear. Its initial panic has given way to instinct. It pivots, its colossal body a living fortress wall, attempting to keep the circling predators in view. Its neck, usually a tool for reaching high branches, is now a liability, drawn back and protected. Its only active weapon, the tail, is lifted from the ground, swaying menacingly, the final 10 feet a blur of potential violence. For the Allosaurs, the moment of truth has arrived. This is the most dangerous phase, where the hunter can easily become the hunted. One of the smaller pack members darts forward, a streak of predatory lightning. It's a probe, a test. The Diplodocus reacts instantly. With a surge of immense muscle, it unleashes its primary defense. The tail cracks through the air, and the sound is not a swish, but a physical explosion. A deafening boom that shatters the Jurassic silence, louder than a modern rifle shot. The Allosaurus, anticipating the move, leaps back just as the supersonic tip vaporizes the air where it stood. This is the power the pack must overcome, a weapon that can disembowel or shatter bone from 20 feet away. But the Allosaurus pack has a weapon of its own, one perfectly suited for this contest. When we analyze the skull of an Allosaurus, we discover something fascinating. Unlike the bone-crushing jaws of a later tyrannosaur, the Allosaurus bite force was relatively weak. Its skull, however, was incredibly robust, built to withstand immense vertical stress. Its teeth were not pegs for crushing, they were wide, serrated blades. This anatomy points to a terrifyingly efficient hunting strategy, the hatchet bite. An Allosaurus could open its mouth to an almost unbelievable 90-degree angle, then bring its upper jaw down with the full force of its powerful neck muscles, using its entire head like a flesh-cleaving battle axe. It didn't need to hold on. The goal was to inflict a catastrophic wound and let blood loss do the rest. The feint has done its job. As the Diplodocus recovers from its defensive strike, two larger Allosaurs exploit the opening. They don't attack the head or the armored back. They target the vast, vulnerable flanks. One predator lunges, slamming its open jaws into the giant's massive hind leg. There's a sickening sound of tearing flesh as its serrated teeth slice through hide and muscle, gouging a wound measured in feet, not inches. It pulls back immediately, a red ribbon of flesh in its jaws, retreating before the sauropod can react. The giant bellows, a deep, resonant cry of pain and outrage, and attempts to pivot, to bring its tail to bear on its attacker. But as it turns, it exposes its other side. The second large Allosaurus strikes, carving another deep gash into its flank. This is the brutal calculus of the pack hunt. The Diplodocus is caught in a deadly trap. Its immense size now a disadvantage, hindering its ability to turn and fight multiple fast-moving assailants. Each attack opens another grievous wound. Its strength begins to fade, its lifeblood staining the dry Jurassic earth. A tremor runs through its legs. It stumbles, its colossal weight becoming an anchor. This is the moment the pack has been striving for. They press the attack, their nips and slashes growing bolder. The battle of biomechanics is over. The giant's phenomenal defenses have been overcome by the pack's relentless, intelligent, and bloody strategy. With a final shuddering groan, the young Diplodocus crashes to the ground, its fall shaking the very earth that will one day hold its bones. The dust settles on a scene of brutal finality. For the Allosaurus pack, the reward is a mountain of flesh, a caloric bounty that will fuel them for weeks. This single successful hunt is the key to their survival in this drought-stricken land. Their victory will echo through the ecosystem. Soon, smaller carnivores and scavengers, fleet-footed ornitholestes, and opportunistic pterosaurs circling overhead will arrive to claim their share, ensuring nothing in this world of scarce resources goes to waste. The death of one giant brings life to many. What we have witnessed is more than just a hunt. It is a single dramatic moment in a multi-million-year evolutionary arms race. The very existence of colossal herbivores like Diplodocus was shaped by the constant threat of predation. The pressure from killers like Allosaurus drove them towards gigantism. Being bigger than anything that could hunt you was the single most effective defense. It spurred the development of their incredible whiplash tail and reinforced the critical importance of herd behavior. The Diplodocus became a living fortress because its world was filled with assailants determined to breach its walls. Conversely, the presence of these walking mountains of meat was the primary evolutionary driver for the predators. To tackle such prey, Allosaurus couldn't just be big and strong. It had to be intelligent. The fossil record hints that the immense challenge of sauropod hunting may have pushed these theropods towards social cooperation, a significant leap in predatory evolution. It shaped their very bodies, favoring a lightweight skull and a specialized bite, designed not for a crushing knockout, but for a strategic bleeding attack. The hunter was sculpted by the hunted, just as the hunted was sculpted by the hunter. This violent, dynamic relationship was the engine that powered the entire Morrison ecosystem. The predators, by targeting the young, old, or unwary, kept the vast herbivore populations healthy and in check, preventing them from stripping the landscape bare. It was a fragile, brutal, yet perfect equilibrium. The The survival of the Allosaurus pack depended on the Diplodocus herd, and the long-term health of the Diplodocus herd was, in its own way, dependent on the culling force of the Allosaurus. In the fossils, we see the weapons, but between the bones we can read the story of a timeless struggle that forged the most spectacular creatures in our planet's history. It is a testament to the relentless creative power of evolution. A cycle of life and death that ensured the vibrant, violent, and magnificent world of the Jurassic would endure.